Hello, fiends, friends, and familiars. This is Matt Orozco here from Macabre Daily, and I am so excited today because I'm joined by Samantha Hale, who is the stand-up comedian behind the now released comedy special Horror Nerd. Samantha, thank you so much for taking some time to speak with me.
Hello, thank you for speaking with me. I've got my familiar on my shirt right now. I've
I
got
know,
my
I see it staring me right in the eyes. My cat's somewhere over here thinking, "What are you doing?" Looking
Oh,
at other
nice.
cats. So, I'm sure I'll get
Yeah.
some treat from their litter box somewhere placed that I can step on it. So,
Yep. They are jealous little creatures, aren't they?
oh my God, I think that's what I like about them though, is that they're tough love, They
Oh
they
yeah.
they really make you work for it a little bit. And
Yeah.
as a horror fan, we like to put ourselves a little bit of pain. So I feel like it all
Yeah,
works out.
exactly. And they find you. Like I really when I found a kitten and I just connected with her instantly. I was like, "Oh, this is how Sabrina the Teenage Witch feels." Yeah, okay. This is my Salem.
It's
Yeah,
true.
I get
It's
it.
true. They find you, they imprint on you, and then they throw up everywhere when you step on it. So
Yeah.
it's a circle of life, really.
Hakuna Matata. What are you gonna do?
Well, Samantha, first and foremost, as I was telling you before we hit record, really enjoyed the special. I felt like you've find a way to like speak to every single horror fan who hasn't been seen by showing them that not only can is horror something that we can talk about with other people, but also it's something that you can make, we can make funny in a way that, is not just like Ash getting slapped in the face with a severed hand. This is more like how do we turn horror into some genuine humor and some jokes.
Right, which is also equally funny.
It
But
is.
thank you for saying that. That's actually my entire goal. That's actually my entire purpose and what I would love to build kind of like a community around the show Horror Nerd. It's like, hey, were you the weird kid that didn't fit in or got bullied or really loved horror before it was cool? This is your house. This is your home. Like, come hang out with us. We're gonna, crack the weird jokes. We're gonna share our vulnerabilities and just get weird. And that
Yes.
weird to me is a compliment. Like, we are the
Yes.
weirdos, mister. That means, hi, we're the cool kids?
100%. And I
Yeah.
feel like it used to not be a badge of honor to be the weird kid, but now
I
it's like being the weird
know.
kid is the coolest thing ever. So
When did it get trendy? Like, is it because Target made t-shirts out of it? Like, when did
yeah,
this happen?
I'm blaming A24 to be quite honest. I think that when they
Oh,
released Hereditary, which is a great, I know you talk about it in your special, and
I
like,
do.
I feel like that movie opened up the floodgates for people to be like, wait a minute, I think maybe I like horror movies if I call it elevated. Um, and then we
Oh
got
my
that whole thing.
God. That's what it is. That's when all the hipsters are like, I can have avocado toast and elevated horror. Oh, ding,
Yeah.
ding,
So
ding. I
so
know
then
what
we'll just
that
get,
is.
Alex Garland making movies about what is it like someone keep continually birthing themselves, well that's the kind of end goal of these things is that,
Yeah.
A24 introduces the normies to the horror movies and then we get all these kind of weird mashups that are maybe a horror movie, maybe not, but um
Yeah.
something that really resonated with me in your special was something that you opened up with, which is about kind of your relationship to genre, and in particular, kind of how your parents kind of fostered this through for you.
Yeah.
And then, you display a lot of vulnerability to talking about kind of, the deaths of those parents and how that what that meant to you.
Yeah.
But as I was listening, one thing I kept thinking is, did one of those parents maybe support your horror love more than the other, or were they both kind of coming at you from both sides saying, no, watch this, watch this?
Oh, it was my dad, 100%. He threw me to the evil clown wolves at 8. It was Pennywise. That was the first one that really just messed me up as a kid. I mean, messed me up. Like I still remember like nightmares of Pennywise chasing me through a Target. Like I remember speaking of Target, that's funny. I don't know where that came from. But I have all these memories. There was one day my dad, for whatever reason, had like this white glove just sitting around in the living room. I was so afraid of it, I made him burn it because I thought it, like his hand, was gonna come into it. And like he came out of the drain. Why couldn't he come out of a glove? I mean, that it was my dad, really. My mom didn't really get in on the party until a little bit later. Like maybe when I was like, when I was 10, she let me watch The Exorcist.
Okay.
And I remember that night because I was like, oh, is this the big moment? Oh my God, I get to watch it. I get to watch it. And I remember we rented it, Blockbuster Video, rest in peace. We got it from
Mm.
Blockbuster, which was my favorite thing to do with my mom. So
Oh my
my
goodness,
mom
Friday
and I,
nights.
yes, because I stayed with her on the weekends. So I would watch whatever my dad would let me watch during the week. And then weekend, it was like, ooh, Blockbuster, where I would just go. You remember they would have like the cover And then the film, if it was actually available to rent
Yeah, if they
behind
had
it.
it, it was right behind there.
Yeah, and I would just look for like the bloodiest, weirdest looking cover and be like, I don't know what it is. I want that one. But one day it was The Exorcist, and I remember she had to go out for something that night, and she said, "Oh, wait until I come back." I said, "Yeah, okay, mom." Door slam. I'm watching it like immediately. So that was kind of our first horror film that I watched with, well, at my mom's house without her. But the movie, you're gonna laugh so hard when I tell you the movie that my mom and I bonded over the most was actually Jack Frost. Do you remember Jack Frost?
Yeah, and we're not talking about the Michael Keaton one, to
Oh
be
no,
clear. We're
no,
talking
no.
about the Shannon Elizabeth getting
Yes.
killed in the shower by a snowman
With the
movie.
carrot nose. Yes.
Yes, and he's like a dirty talking, almost like a
Oh,
Charles Lee Ray type, but trapped in a
totally.
snowman.
Totally. That's what it is. He's like a Charles Ray in a snowman's body. And it's funny because it's like the same concept. Both Jack Frost movies are like, oh, somebody died and came back as a snowman. Like,
Yeah, very different interpretations of that
oh,
premise.
so different. So different. But the Michael Keaton one, it's like they play hockey and then all of a sudden he's not a deadbeat dad anymore and then everyone's fine and that's the movie. It's the whole movie.
That's every 90s family film is like the dad's a piece of shit, and all of a sudden something happens where like he realizes he's a piece of shit. And so it's like, oh, I guess I should take my son to a baseball game. It's like, yeah, maybe at a bare minimum, maybe show up, because I had a reverse living situation than you did. Like my mom had custody of my sister and I. And
Mhm.
so we stayed with my mom during the week, and she was less inclined to manage what I watched. Whereas my dad, great guy, but he
Oh.
was more like, why aren't the hell you like why at like 5 years old? He's like, The Bronx Tale is the best movie ever made. Why the hell are you watching this trash? I'm like,
I
I'm not
love
gonna
Bronx
connect with the
Tale.
Bronx. I mean, yeah, a great movie, but like at 5,
At
I'm just
five,
not gonna
no.
understand the nuance. Plus, we didn't live in New York, so it's like I don't know what you want me to get from
Why do I
this.
care about this?
Yeah,
Right.
like I
Right.
think we've progressed quite a bit socially as well. So like I'm not sure what I'm trying to learn from this, but nevertheless, just like you, Halloween was my jam.
Yeah.
It rocked my socks off.
Yeah.
I've told this story before, but I used to have to play a game at my grandma's house where she would get mad if I left the lights on at night because I'd stay up late, as you do, watch horror movies. So I made a game of like trying to turn off all the lights in sequence so I didn't have any darkness in front of me, but just behind me. Um, yeah,
Smart.
I know. I was a thinker, but also to your Pennywise thing, I wouldn't get off the bed for an entire day because of that movie.
Uh-huh.
Because the part where he
Yeah.
pulls him under the so when you talk about in the special like the Pennywise pulling Georgie underneath the drain, like that really affected me so
Uh-huh.
much so that like I didn't go to the bathroom, staying in my
Yep.
bed. Do you find that horror movies still have that ability to scare you, or do you feel like we got that all out of our systems when we were younger?
You know what? That's a great question. And I kind of wish it takes a lot now to scare me. It definitely takes a lot. Especially like I love the mazes, Halloween Horror Nights, all those things that I love them, but the actors hate me because they're doing their best and they look amazing and they jump out and I'm like, oh, cool, dude. Nah, you look great. No, you look good. Yeah, cool. Like that's my response, but I genuinely think they look great. But maybe because my mind is like analyzing like, "Oh, that's cool and this is cool. I like that you did this." Like my mind is just over processing everything because I love this stuff so much now. So, it's a little bit harder to just sit back and just enjoy it. Um this is the last time that I remember, two times that I remember like really being freaked out in during watching a scary movie in a theater. One was I think it was my 18th birthday. Me and my friend Michelle, we were the only ones in the theater at like 10 p.m. It was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake with Jessica Biel.
Oh, good one.
I It was a banger, right? And so we watched it, and I remember getting home and like watering my lawn and just constantly looking over my shoulder, like they're listening for chainsaws. You know,
Like, is
that
Arlie
one,
Emery around here somewhere?
right, right. That one got me. And then the other one that it was just like a beautiful blend of everything was right. I went also with my friend Michelle. We were in, she was going to Berkeley at the time. And there's this old, like, silent movie theater, beautiful theater with the red seats and everything. We were up in the balcony by ourselves watching The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Ooh,
And
okay.
that was creepy and so good. So good.
That is one of the better like exorcism films.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm with you. I asked a couple of my friends about it a couple weeks ago. Can horror movies still scare us? And I think the resounding answer was pretty similar. It was like, yeah, like not really,
Yeah.
but I think we're so enamored by the effort, and I think that's what
Yeah.
when you talk about Halloween Horror Nights, I'm the same way. Like I'm laughing, like my response when they try and scare me is like, I'm gonna laugh about it.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I don't want them to take that the wrong way, but at the same time, like I am really impressed with the level of effort put into creating these landscapes and like really trying to mimic the movies and create the same atmosphere.
Right.
But as you were growing up as a horror fan, did you have community around you that was like aside from your parents that helped support this, or were you just like the kid who was
No.
into horror and that was it?
I was the kid that was into horror, and I was really not the popular kid, to tell you the truth. I mean, I don't know if it had to do with like my parents split when I was very young. I'm an only child. Also, I was pretty heavy as a kid, so I got bullied pretty
Same.
relentlessly. Yeah. And so I just lived in my own head, to tell you the truth. I think I still am a little bit of an introvert, even though I know I'm a comic, I can fake it really well, but I fake it till you make it, right? What do
Right.
they say? Extroverted introvert. Um,
Ambivert, I think, is that they're like so you're a
yeah,
little bit of I think like a social battery. It's like I have a charge. Once that charge is out, I gotta
it's
get out. Like
out.
I
Oh
gotta.
my God, it's out. Just let me watch something horrible alone in my room. I'm not going to talk. Yeah,
Yep.
that's kind of how I reboot and recharge is just quiet time. So no, I was the only one that was into this stuff. And my dad was like the one, my gateway and my best friend when it came to horror, because he was the one that let me watch it all. I mean, we would watch The Blob. We would watch one of the movies that I absolutely fell in love with even before it was Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, and then of course we were into like the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies too, like Predator, obsessed. Still Team Predator. I love Alien, but I'm Team Predator. Sorry, just gonna say it. Um,
No, yeah,
yeah,
you know
and
what?
then
There's no bad takes there, to be honest. Like
I
it's
know
like
it's
saying,
a
do you
win-win.
like cookies? Do you like ice cream better? It's like I don't know. They're both really good.
You're gonna be happy either way. Yeah, exactly.
Well, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I noticed something actually last night. We did our big like annual Halloween show at the Brea Improv, which is this big, beautiful theater down in Orange County. It's like one of my all-time favorite venues. And we've done it 3 years in a row. So we've built up an audience of us, like you and me, like us, community, right? I look out and I see an Evil Dead shirt and a Halloween and a this and a that, and then an Ed Gein shirt. I was like, oh, you're legit. Okay, legit. And they get all my weird references. And I kind of have noticed because I love doing crowd work. Like I love really bringing people in, and I'm actually really like talking to people and asking them, "What's the first one you saw? Which one messed you up the most? Who got you into it?" And pretty much every time I talk about parents, almost everyone in there that's genuinely connected with me says, "My dad got me into it. My mom." And I've noticed that usually with girls, the dad got them into it, and then the couple
Huh.
guys, "Oh, my mom showed me this stuff." So
Huh.
I don't know
It's
what that is.
interesting.
Kind of cool. I don't know.
I mean, I think I don't think my parents were necessarily like my mom was supportive in that she wanted me to be the person I was becoming. My
Yeah.
dad, what I think was I don't want to say not supportive, just kind of like he had an agenda. He's like, why don't you like these movies? But my grandma was the one who like allowed me to just be weird and didn't restrict what I
Oh,
rented. And so I think through the combination of having some like, marginal support from the parents, but some
yeah.
overwhelming support from my grandma kind of gave me this agency to really own my tastes and what I was into. And
That's
I think that's
cool.
what we really look for, right? I mean, when it comes down to being a horror fan, especially one that's been, we've been horror fans for decades at this point, is like we didn't have that community when we were
No.
growing up, and now
Uh-uh.
we have a chance to identify it through the. I mean, the internet's done some pretty awful things, but it's
I
also
know.
allowed us to find people
Yeah, internet
from
is
afar.
evil but also amazing at the same time. The people that you can connect. I mean, look at where we're talking right now, right?
Right,
How cool
right.
is that?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's this is the future, and I feel like this is what we've asked for, but also, I think one of the things that is so fascinating about your special is that you find a really interesting way to weave in kind of the knowledge of horror eloquently with the jokes, but at the same
Thank
time
you.
telling a little about yourself. And
Yeah.
I've always found that horror fans in general tend to be kind of very oxymoronic in that their perception of us is that we're somehow these
Mm-hmm.
really weird, strange people, but when you get to talk to us, we're just the nicest
The
folks. Is that your experience
nicest.
as well?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, the horror community like will literally give you the weird shirt off their tattooed back, that's the cool thing is, and I hate to say it, but like it's the popular kids you got to watch out for.
It's
Like,
true.
you know what I mean? Like us, like being covered in tattoos and wearing weird shirts. I've noticed it a lot, like especially if I'm wearing like a jacket and they can't see that I'm tatted and I just look like, every day, whatever. I've noticed people kind of all decked out piercings and everything, and they just kind of are quiet because I think maybe they assume that people think that they're not nice. And I'm like, oh my God, hey, how's your day going? And they just light up like, oh, hey. And they're the nicest freaking people. Like,
It's like
we've all
metalheads, it's the same thing.
yeah, oh my God, yes. And I love metal. There's nothing I love more than just losing your mind in the music. I love Zombie. I have seen Rob Zombie way too many times and Ice Nine Kills. I mean, it's just fun and cathartic and good and it's such a release, you know?
Who would thought we would have a metal band that has not only seen commercial success but is writing songs about horror movies as like for
Yeah.
2 albums straight? So I'm right there with you. I think that
Yeah.
it's a great time to be a horror fan, but it's also a reminder that like not all of us have had it that good our
Yeah.
entire life. And
Yeah.
when you think about, I guess, the origin of this, kind of concept of horror nerd, at what point did you realize I want to combine my comedy talent with my knowledge of horror and
Yeah.
then started to putting that all together?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wish I would have thought of that sooner. Really. Because so I had been doing comedy like maybe 10 years or so, and then the pandemic happened and we were all locked away and couldn't work. Like I couldn't work for almost 2 years. And so it's kind of you had to find ways of like keeping yourself inspired and entertained. And so I started going because I'm like, I'm in LA. I have access to some of the most iconic horror film locations right up the road. I've got you know, this is just a small amount. The Murder House from American Horror Story, the Michael Myers house, Laurie Strode house, Child's Play 2 house, Insidious house. The list goes on and on and on. Nightmare on Elm Street house. We even have the Golden Girls house and the Brady Bunch house. You know what? I'll throw those in there. So I would just go and I would just kind of make a funny video of me saying something about the film in front of it. And I just kept doing it. And people were like, oh, this is great. When are you going to do it next? And that's when I realized this is fun. This is cool. And I started writing all this material about it. And I also noticed that, like, do you ever watch any of the location film of YouTube clips where it's like, and now we're going to see where Jason, it's like, there's not a lot of personality in it. It's just very
Right.
factual. So I thought, well, I can do that, but I can make it my spin on it. So that's what I did. And then when the world opened up again, my friend who had a show at the Hollywood Improv at the time was like, oh, hey, why don't you pitch this idea of a horror theme show to the improv? And I thought, oh, I don't know if they'll get it. I mean, who's going to want to? Maybe it'll be like, maybe they'll do it in October and that's it.
Right.
And then 4 years later, we're doing it every month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And
Yeah.
you have blazed a trail here, which I think is really impressive that
Thank
not
you.
only have you found a way to channel the love of horror into something like comedy, but you are the first person that I think I've ever been heard of that's combining these two in this way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and and you've proven that I think that it works, that there is something to this, that horror fans are as jovial as the rest of the world. It's just we are, our humor's a little bit darker and our clothes, just like our clothes, right?
Yeah, exactly. But our sense of humor is so good. We have such a look at the weird shit that we laugh at. I mean, weapons, like we were laughing out loud with joy because Amy Madigan just killed it. It was so good. So good.
I mean, I
And that
saw
was
it in Cleveland, and like the whole theater. So I live in Cleveland, Ohio. The whole
nice.
theater was not like your traditional horror fans, right? It's just people just going to the movies. At this point, the movie's been out for 2 weeks, so you're getting that crowd that's like, I hear this movie's good, but I
Yeah.
don't know fuck all about it.
Yeah.
And everyone just lost it in the last 15 minutes of that movie. Like,
Oh my God, it was so good in the ending.
yeah. And so there is, and I had this conversation with a few friends a week ago that like the coffee table is like such a darkly funny like it's not a funny movie in some parts, but like the premise of it is really dark, but then you see how it's executed. Like this is the darkest comic that's ever been made. And I think there's so much room for humor and horror that's just unexplored. But you've
Yeah.
also found a way to make it approachable for everybody, right? And how do you
Yeah.
strike that balance where it's like I'm going to tell good jokes, but at the same time I don't want to isolate an audience by making them too niche or too extreme?
Yeah, that was hard. Tom Dolby, the director, and I spent a lot of time going over. I think I had like 11 drafts of this thing of like, what
Oh
are we going to
wow.
include? What are we not? Not only like what cuts are people going to get? What deep cuts will people get? How do we make the like the real nerds like myself happy, but how do we also kind of, we want a general audience to watch this as well, because we want to, get as many get to as many people as we can, because who wouldn't want, we work so hard on this thing. But also, how do we make this evergreen? Like there
Mm,
were a couple references of, okay, well, I don't know if anyone's even gonna think about this film. I mean, it's really popular right now. Will it be? Obviously, if you're gonna talk about Psycho, that's evergreen. You're gonna talk about Texas Chainsaw, evergreen. But some of my punchlines, I had to realize, okay, this is kind of too topical. This is too current. By the time this is released and in front of people, who knows? So
yeah.
that took a while. But there were a lot. The good thing with Tom is that he's not like as nerdy as I am, so he was able to kind of reel me back. Yeah, a little bit. He's like,
It's your
Samantha,
sense check.
yeah, he's like, I don't know what that is. I'm like, but I'm telling you what it is. He's like, yeah, but so it was a really good back and forth. Um, the one thing that I had this whole long bit, the Doug Bradley thing, I was like, I'm keeping that in. Hellraiser stays. It stays.
The Hellraiser stays on the special. And as someone who met uh, Doug Bradley as well, I met him in his full pinhead getup. And
No
there's just a
way.
yeah, it was like a photo op thing, and he's like, it was like the last time he's gonna wear the costume. I don't know if that's true or not. The marketing says whatever they want, but
I haven't seen him
uh,
in it.
I haven't seen him in it since either. But the picture of me is so absurdly embarrassing because I'm just like, I look like a kid who's just walked into the world's biggest candy store,
Yes.
and I'm just like, oh, what am I doing in here?
Yeah,
And like now it's on my arm, and so it's like, this is my movie. This is my it's
I
my
love
place.
it. Oh, that's right. Is it on your, can I see?
Yeah,
I
so
want
I've
to
got the
see.
the box here, and then I've got the
Ooh.
tall man up at the top,
Oh my
and
God,
then
that's
the
incredible
Beyond
detail.
right there, and then I don't know if you're a Nightbreed fan, but I've got the Nightbreed Dr. Decker guy over there.
That's
So
so good.
my all credit to the artist. I just had to sit there.
Whoa. I need a good portrait artist because I want to do Carolyn Jones Morticia. That's like my next piece that I want, because I consider her like my horror mother. Like she started me on all this.
Well, you talk about that in a special, and I think one of the things that candidly, like the genre up until let's say maybe the past 15, 20 years has been heavily male dominated. It's not to say that
Yeah.
there has not been women working in horror, it's just more so that the emphasis has always been on bringing up, men and putting them in those positions.
Mhm.
So do you find that like through this work, like this is a way for you to increase kind of the awareness that, hey, women like horror too, but not only that, like they can get just as nerdy as everybody else. Like there's no difference between us as nerds when it comes to gender and genre.
Oh yeah, completely. Like I don't know why it was just such an assumption that women didn't like this kind of stuff. Oh, well, it's violent. Yeah, well, women have been through some shit. Yeah, we
Yeah,
like it.
right.
It's cathartic for us. I
Being
don't
a
know.
woman is violent.
Being a woman is violent. That's why we like true crime, because it's like it's a way to safely explore things that actually are happening, and try to like get that fear out of our body, and what would we do, and how do we learn from this, and how do we raise awareness from this, how do we protect future victims, all that stuff. But women love horror. Like that's the thing, that it's this untapped market that's now, just now, I think slowly getting tapped, where if you go to a horror fan, like a horror screening, it's going to be it's half women now. It's half and half.
Easily.
Easily. Like you go to Midsummer Scream, you go to the conventions, it's everyone is there. LGBTQ plus, straight, whatever, men, women, little kids are coming, running around as Ghostface, which is adorable. Um, so it's for everybody. And someone said the other day, like, oh, well, if you want like the horror guys to like you, like it should be like we could talk about blood and guts. And I'm like, absolutely. However, I'm wondering, I'm just kind of, especially talking to you now, I'm like, I feel like the guys who like horror are some of the sweetest, most vulnerable guys, who are the most respectful guys, actually, and who you can have conversations with and feel safe with. Honestly, I mean,
I
it's
think
for
that a lot of us are. I mean, obviously, we can't paint with a broad stroke because I think we have seen an infiltration of like people trying to I'm going to call it grifting on horror for the moment because it just when
horror
things get
incels.
yeah, the horror incels are showing up, but it is this like we do have this almost like when things get popular, it can sometimes attract the wrong type of person into it.
Yeah.
But I also think something you said before is like that there is you know I grew up as a bigger person. I was 350 pounds all up until high
Mm.
school. And
Yeah.
like was bullied intensely at a time when
Yeah.
there wasn't bullying training. It was like, oh, be nice, but at the same time, don't tattle, So
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
very conflicting messaging. But I think all of us have kind of grown up with that as a default, and in turn, it's made us wanting to become, I don't know, we don't want to leave the world a worse place than we've been in. We want to maybe make it a better place.
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly who I'm talking about. But I think you do make a good point that it's trendy now. So there's gonna be, and it's even similar in the world of stand-up comedy. Stand-up
Yeah.
comedy got really cool again. It's like, so now you see a lot of new people coming in, and there are some incredible, wonderful people, and then there's some who just like the idea of comedy. There's some who are, just doing it. It's like, go to therapy instead, dude. Like, women as well, for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think like the people who are very genuinely connected to this stuff, especially who grew up with it, yeah, I feel like we tend to be kids that have gone through some stuff, and
Yeah.
we're very empathetic, um, which is maybe why we connect to some of the characters in these films. But it's weird though, because sometimes you're flat out rooting for the killer. So I don't know if that's
Oh,
also
totally.
like, yeah, revenge. Yeah.
I mean, it's like a dual catharsis in some ways, where like
Mhm.
you're rooting for the killer because they're often exacting revenge on the kinds of people that maybe were the bullies or like the antagonists in our own stories.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, you root for like the Laurie Strodes or the Nancy. Oh my God, I'm forgetting Nancy's last name from just gonna call it Heather
Yeah.
Langenkamp.
Yeah.
But like we root for them because we see something of ourselves in them. They're not bad people. They're just put in a bad situation. I think a lot of us are, good people that have to deal with a lot of bad shit.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think that's a lot of the horror community is good people who've been put in situations, and we just kind of have a dark sense of humor because of it. I mean, if you think of comedy is tragedy plus time, right?
Mm,
Comedy is like, hey, we're talking about things that were really hard, really hurtful, really sad. I mean, I literally talk about my parents passing away in the
yeah.
special. And but I can connect with people that way. And I feel like every time I get to talk about my mom or my dad, I get to honor them. I get to share stories about them in a room full of new people. And so it's like bringing them back to life, even if it's for, an hour at a time.
Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, honestly, that really is like just the coolest thing. And I agree, there's probably no better way to honor their memory than kind of reminding people of the impact that they've had on you as an individual and how important that impact can be to someone's growth and development. I mean, I know we'd all be very different people if we didn't have some of those folks in our corner that were cheering us on.
Hmm.
And I want to make a real great call out to two bits in your special that I don't want to spoil, but I think are the Silent Night, Deadly Night joke had
Oh
me just
yeah.
careening. I'm like, ah.
That
Then the
was a
other one
deep
was
cut, by the way. That was for like the fans, because I don't know if that's like a mainstream movie as much,
it's
but
about to be when they're making a remake. It's coming out in December, and if you like the original, I'll tell you this much: the new one is wildly different. So,
yeah,
very interested to see what people think about it. But also your
yeah,
Stephen King joke of just like explaining like how these are all connected, like burying
yeah,
Cujo in the Pet Cemetery. I mean, this is just
it would work.
as a horror fan, it's like someone's making these connections and making them funny in a way that has not been done yet. And it's again, like you said before, it's surprising no one has, but you're the first. And I'm curious to know where you're going with this. Like, where would you like to see Horror Nerd evolve, beyond just this special? Because I think this obviously opens doors, but at the same time, where would you like to see it go beyond that?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to obviously see it grow. I would love to tour it more. I would love to get into more conventions, and because that's where like the real passionate lovers of horror are. They're there dressed up as their favorite character. And that's my favorite thing to do. Like Midsummer Scream is my favorite convention out of Long Beach. It's absolutely incredible. It's huge, and I've had the honor really of getting to do my show there the last few years. And we just did it this year, and I decided to do something different. David Markland, who runs it, is a genius. He was like, Sam, let's do something that we haven't done yet. And so we came up with this idea of I'm going to run the show as Annabelle, like from The Conjuring, because I'm obsessed with Annabelle. And I'm going to make Annabelle an anger management counselor, and all of her clients are going to come in for sessions. And so all the comics came in as a character and just talked about their feelings. So I want to do more weird shit like that. I want to do more of that. Um, I would love to at some point, my like a big overall dream would be to create like a series where we have multiple comics shooting their 15-minute special of just horror and have like, like four comics per episode and make it an episodic. That would
Wow.
be a huge end goal that I know Tom would love to do as well. That would be exciting because when I run the show at the Hollywood Improv every month, I have like a handful. I have a bunch of comics all writing about a specific theme. So I'll be like, okay, this month we're doing vampires. Next month we're doing Stephen King. Next month we're doing, and I've been doing it for 4 years. So now my genres are getting weirder and weirder and sub,
More
sub, sub,
niche.
sub. More niche because I'm running out of ideas. But one of the ones that we just did, we did an all-girl show and we did a good for her theme. And it was all, Carrie, I Spit on Your Grave, Revenge, like all these great films. And it was so fun. It was so cathartic. It was really nice.
I mean, it almost sounds like you've got like a horror variety show building up, where like
Yeah.
you can just do these little skits and then bring comments in and use it as a place to create exposure and awareness for not just genre, but also comedians. I mean,
Right.
I know just as you were talking, I'm thinking like, oh, it'd be so interesting to do like a Linnea Quigley themed like, show because she's been in so many horror movies, it's just like
Yeah.
Linnea from Night of the Demons, Linnea from Sorority Babes and Slime Bowl-around. I mean, it's just
Oh, that would be
the
so fun.
the Return of the Living Dead. I mean, there's just she's done so many, it really just makes it kind of easy. But
Yeah.
um, given that we're recording this the day before Halloween, I guess I have to ask you two last questions. The first one is, do you have any watches that you always put on in October or on Halloween? And the second is favorite fun-size candy bar.
Favorite fun sized? Oh, I mean, as a kid, you always dig out the Snickers and the Reese's. I mean, that's what you did. You dug out the chocolate. That was the good stuff. I was always looking for
Caramel
Snickers.
chocolate or
Uh-huh.
peanut butter. Caramel pot chocolate and peanut butter is the trifecta of awesome. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I really love the AMC Fright Fest. I love just leaving it on in the background and just whatever comes on, I watch it. But I think I've noticed that, and I don't even think I've done it on purpose, but I always tend, I mean, I watch Halloween year round, like all of
yeah.
them. But I think my staple has become The Shining, actually. Um, I love it. I'm full on obsessed with The Shining. I finally got to go to Yosemite this year and we went to the Awani Hotel and it's beautiful. It looks like you're walking into the interior. It's
Oh wow.
beautiful. Yeah, I'm also like I'm a weirdo. I've also gone to the Stanley in Colorado and that was beautiful. It was like walking into 1910 or whatever it was built. But getting to like be at the room where he wrote the book is wild. It's wild. But last year, right before Halloween, it was also the World Series, and we had tickets to go see The Shining at the Fonda Theater, this big, beautiful outdoor theater. And it was the night of the final game. And so it was actually became this really cool memory because and it's Dodgers. No, I'm in LA, so Dodgers are a big deal.
I used to
So
live in
we
LA, so go
you
Dodgers.
know, yeah, go blue, right? So we were in the like I would watch my favorite scenes and then go down to like the little lobby area where there was a huge TV and everyone was like we were all just going back and forth between red rum balls. And it was so fun and they won and everyone was in the best mood ever and then we went and watched the ending of the film. It was a really special night.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's those
Yeah.
memories that I think carry us through the most difficult times. And so I'm glad that you
Right.
not only have that one, but also such a great one that as well. And again, for folks watching this, you can watch Horror Nerd on Apple TV now. We'll put a link to be able to go and watch it so everyone can get a chance to take a look. And Samantha, it's been such a pleasure and an honor speaking with you about this work. I'm
Yay.
genuinely so like love what you're doing, and if there's anything we can do to continue to support your work, whether it goes on tour, whether it's just happening in LA, no matter what, we're always happy to do it because what you're doing is what so many of us have wanted to see, not just in the comedy space, but also us represented truly by a fan for fans. So
Okay,
thanks,
I'm not
Samantha.
I'm not gonna cry, but thank you. That's like you have no idea. Literally, you have no idea how much that means to me because there are times when I'm like, okay, what am I doing? Do people get it? And to know that they do get it, like I'm tearing up. So thank you very much for having me. I'll come back anytime.
Well, I will take you up at that, Samantha. And again, thank you so much and happy early Halloween.
Happy Halloween!